Mercedes-Benz C300 AMG-Line Coupé. You may have recently watched our C300 AMG-Line sedan review where we talked about how with its facelift it got an airmatic suspension that basically saved it from having what was a damn nearly atrocious ride in the pre-facelift model. Now with this car, it gets a lot of the same upgrades that the facelifted sedan got, like the multi-beam LED headlights, the fancy new diamond pin grille and all of that good stuff, except for the airmatic suspension. Instead, this car continues to roll in with its sport suspension, a passive suspension setup, and well, I have my reservations. Let's find out if this thing is any good. So obviously, down here is where you see the biggest difference between the coupe and the sedan, because obviously you've lost a couple of doors. Now everything basically from this point on is all unique to the coupe. So you have a unique roof line, obviously you've lost the doors. You have a totally unique rear end, and if you look down the side, a lot of the character lines have been cleaned up. It's been made a lot more minimalist, and as a result there is a clear surface play used in order to sort of make this car look very muscular and athletic. And it also helps kind of show off the color, which really pops in this bright sunlight. Now what isn't unique to the coupe are the wheels, which in the C300 AMG line sedan review we already told you were nicked straight off the C43. These were nicked off the C43 as well. So frankly, because it looks the part, all you're really missing is the bi-turbo badge that sits sort of here. So you could fool some of your friends into thinking that you brought a proper AMG Mercedes as opposed to an AMG line. So like I said, the rear of the C-Class Coupe or even the C300 AMG line is unique to this car. You get the typical Mercedes-Benz Coupe slim, wide tail light. You get this integrated ducktail spoiler, and because it's an AMG line car, you also get integrated exhaust exits, this nice rear diffuser, as well as these slats down here, which, like the sedan, unfortunately remain fake. So the interior of the C300 Coupe is broadly similar to what you got in the sedan. So you have this beautiful black open pore ashwood trim, which I really like, as well as these Burmester audio speaker grills and this lovely brushed metal trim along the doors. Now the interior of this car, because it's a C300, you get these beautiful sports seats wrapped in this gorgeous brown leather. You also get a widescreen central infotainment display, a fully digital instrument cluster, and you also get a panoramic sunroof, again because it's a C300. You don't get these things in a C200 unfortunately, except for the widescreen display, the digital instrument cluster. Now, the back seats, a lot of car journalists, international car journalists, will complain about the fact there's not a lot of headroom or a lot of legroom back there, but for us Asian people, we're just fine. It's perhaps not advisable over a long journey, but it's fine. So, the C300 AMG line Coupe. Where do I start actually? When I'm looking at this coupe, when I'm thinking about this coupe, it's quite difficult for me to find all of the words I need to talk about it, because a coupe isn't as easy a vehicle to pull apart as opposed to a regular luxury sedan, for example. A coupe like this is more about the experience. It's about the purity of design, the sensuousness of the experience, and it's about the connectedness behind the wheel. Or at least that's how a compact sports coupe like this ought to be considered. Compared to the C300 Saloon, there is one key component that is missing from this cabin. You still get this lovely stitched faux leather on the dash, on the door cards. You still get the lovely Burmester audio system and its brushed aluminium trim. You lose the wood on the doors, but it's replaced by this very pretty brown leather, which I like a lot. And you still get a lovely AMG line steering wheel. You do get some sport seats that's unique to the C300 Coupe, but like I said, there is one key element that is missing from this car, and that is air suspension. Now, I remarked in my review of the C300 Saloon that with the inclusion of airmatic air suspension for the first time in a C-Class in Malaysia, it made the C-Class ride so smoothly. so comfortably over even the very worst roads in KL, and that made it a true luxury saloon, in my opinion. This car, however, the Coupe, still has the same sport suspension, a passive suspension setup, just like the pre-facelift C300 Saloon. As a result, the ride in here is not quite so soft. It is a little bit on the firm side, I'll put it to you like that. In fact, I drove this car, I had the opportunity to drive this car over a long distance, about 150-ish kilometers the other day. And if I'm honest, there was quite a lot of juddering and shaking in the car when cruising at higher speeds. Now, of course, some of you may be going, oh no, Mercedes-Benz with a harsh ride? Well, let's be honest, the C300 needed airmatic air suspension because it is a luxury saloon. That's what is expected of it. This, however, is a sporty coupe, and as a result, I am inclined to be a bit more forgiving to this less forgiving suspension, if that makes sense to you. Because as a result of the stiffer suspension, body roll is very well controlled in this, sort of like driving around the C300 Saloon in sport mode. And it does give you an air of confidence when driving this car relatively quickly, particularly when you're attacking B roads. The powertrain in this car is exactly the same as the one you get in the Saloon, which means you get a turbocharged 4-cylinder 2-litre engine, putting out 258 horsepower and 350 newton meters of torque, with power going to the rear wheels via a 9-speed automatic gearbox. The gearbox in this car is very intelligent, it's very well judged, and I feel like it's a great suit for this car because depending on which drive mode you're in, the gearbox can be a little bit more aggressive or it can be a little bit more efficient. So for example, I'm driving the car in comfort mode, I'm doing 82 kilometers an hour and I'm in 8th gear. If I was doing 110, I'd be in 9th gear. And as a result, the engine is very muted, it's very comfortable in here, and it's sipping very little fuel. In fact, at the moment it's doing about 8.9 liters per 100 kilometers, which is not bad for a sporty coupe. However, once again, I appear to be plagued by the same issue as I found in the Saloon, which is a lack of insulation. This car, as you can probably hear, is a little bit noisy. I would have preferred a cabin that was slightly better insulated, that would properly seal me from the outside world as I waft along in my very pretty two-door Mercedes. That said though, the threshold for the noise appears to be higher in this car than it was in the Saloon. In the Saloon, the noise would start creeping in at about 90-95 kilometers an hour. In this car, it creeps in at about 110-ish, which is kind of where you need to be anyway. But, and this is a big but, at over 400,000 ringgit, this car's price point puts it dangerously close to the Mercedes AMG C43. Not only is that a proper AMG car, it has the vaunted air suspension system, it has a much more raunchy soundtrack, and overall it's just a much more engaging experience. Sure, it doesn't have the sexy appeal of a coupe, but it's an AMG. So if you're buying or considering one of these on the basis that it'll be a good driver's car, I'd suggest that you maybe take a look at the C43 and look at the 2 extra doors as sort of a bonus. However, let's be honest, if you are looking at one of these, if you are seriously considering a C300 AMG-Line Coupé to be a part of your day-to-day life, you don't care what I have to tell you. You're watching this only to hear about whether or not I have one big major fatal flaw, like if I press the accelerator it eats my right foot, or if I turn right it actually wants to turn left. This car doesn't have major flaws like that. They're just little niggles. And if you're already considering one of these, there is jack all that I can say that will dissuade you from buying one, because between you and I'm on your side. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to give us a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and if you didn't enjoy it, like it anyway. And if you enjoyed our content, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And if you'd like, you can follow me on my official Twitter and Instagram at Ayman I. Thanks so much for watching. We will catch you in the next video.